Trade and trade policies are indispensable to underpin the technological and economic shift towards the low-carbon future.
Transport constitutes one of the biggest challenges for decarbonization of our global economy. Transport activity is responsible for 24% of global energy-related CO2 emissions, so the challenge is considerable. The sector isn't on track to meet the Paris Agreement goals, we know that, but these goals are still within reach with global cooperation and committed initiative within and across borders to decarbonize the sector.
We've really reached a tipping point. There's a convergence of demand, politics, and interest. Together, the global industries and the organizations that are responsible and looking at this have close to 130 trillion of investment dollars behind them to potentially look at new and emerging greenhouse gas reducing technologies.
Green hydrogen is one of the tools to achieve that. So we can decarbonize industry, we can decarbonize mobility, we can decarbonize even the energy. In order to reach the impact that we want, we have to push more on the demand. The customers are just discovering the technology. They are willing to learn and to test and to run with that, but they see that as a risk. So that means that the customer wants to pay later at the end because they are risk averse. We have really to start projects now.
Decarbonizing hard-to-abate heavy industries such as iron and steel, cement, chemicals, and transportation is crucial to achieve our net zero targets in the coming decades. The iron and steel sector alone accounts for around 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. We already have different pathways to decarbonize steel production, and now it is critical to accelerate the diffusion and deployment of low-carbon steel-making technologies.
Carbon pricing has a very important role to play to make sure that net zero is achieved at the lowest possible cost. In the past, the inability of the world to factor the full cost of social, economic, and environment has resulted in development of a lot of emissions and hence the challenge of climate actions that we are looking at. One of the impediments on this decarbonization journey is the significant cost difference that exists between a green steel and a steel as normal.
Our company, H2 Green Steel, will use renewable electricity to produce green hydrogen that we will use to produce decarbonized steel. We will reduce emissions with more than 95% compared to the blast furnaces process, which is the most common in the world. Before we have a significant carbon pricing in the world and in regions, there will need to be a green premium on the decarbonized green steel. Now it's voluntary commitments from our customers that make them want to pay this, but in the future I think it needs to come also regulation that secures a market for decarbonized steel. Once this starts, I think we can inspire each other to go even faster.